Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David, Baruch Hashem. Erev Shabbos Kodesh. Baruch Hashem. Parshas Bahar B'chukaisai. It's Shabbos Mevorchim. Wow. Shabbos Mevorchim. And it's also Shabbos Chazak. We're finishing Sefer Vayikra. And Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to start Sefer Bamidbar next Shabbos, Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay, and we're learning the Sefira, and today we're learning from the Sefer Efrat Lachem, and today is Hayoim Arboim Yoim Shehem Chamisha Shvuos v'Chamisha Yomim L'Omer. Okay, so today is the 40th day, 5 weeks and 5 days into the Omer, and today is the Midah of Hod Shebi Yesod. Hod Shebi Yesod, right? Hod Shebi Yesod is very special because, again, Hod is a Har and a Kohen, always giving thanks and recognizing everything Hashem is doing for us and always thanking Him for it. It's so important. You know, anytime someone gives you something, it's always important to show a karas hatov, right? You thank them, right? And you make the person feel good because he gave you, right? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing so much for us, so how much more so do we have to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu all the time? So he says today like this. Again, put a little heart into this, what he's saying now. If you want to be on the ladder of holiness and purity, right? That ladder, the Yaakov Avinu's ladder, right? Mutzav Artsa Rosh Magia Shmaimi. You're on the ladder, right? You have to always be praising Hashem and thanking Hashem. That's the key. That's the key to be on that ladder. Al kol ma shehisig. Until on what? On what you were able to be, what you already had, the successes that you had already regarding Kedusha and Tahara, regarding holiness and purity, right? So we all have our tests, our nisyonot, right? We all have our tests, and it's very important to stop to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for our successes, right?
Absolutely.
Right? No, but it's nice to talk about it, to say it, right?
Yeah.
These are everything's very elementary. It's not there's nothing that we don't know, but it's good to reinforce these things, right? And any time we're tested, right? We're tested all the time, right? Anytime you pass the test, you realize, wow, look at that. I'm successful this time. Wow. Thank Hashem for that. That He gave you the guidance and He helped you and He held your hand to get through that success. Thank Hashem for that. Isn't that beautiful?
Thank Hashem for the challenge.
Okay. When you pass the challenge.
Rabbi Auer says if you thank him for the challenge, he'll reduce the pressure on the next challenge. And he said, "You're thanking me for this? Well, I'm going to give you something to thank me for."
Okay. We could look at it the other way. I'll make the challenge more difficult, so when you pass it,
you'll feel more successful. If you live.
You thank Hashem for the. He's saying here that you thank Miyad. Okay, let's see what the Elias Miyad Acher Kol Nisayin Shezocha LaAmid Bay. You thank Hashem the fact that you were able to stand up to the test and you passed the test. He doesn't say anything about.
No, he
doesn't say anything here about the test itself.
No.
We ask Hashem every morning. You pray Lo Yal Yadei Nisayin. We ask Hashem, please don't test us with tests.
You don't ask for a test.
No, in the morning we're saying don't. We're saying in a prayer, we're saying in the bracha, please not with tests.
Don't test me.
Right. So again, Hashem.
I'm just saying, if He gives it to us, that's the best thing for us.
True. Okay, but focus
What do you
on
ask for?
focus on the success.
Right, of course.
Focus on the success. Ubefrat b'nisayin negei l'kedusha tahara specifically, when it comes to something of your holiness and purity, right? Something that you were on the street and then somebody walked by and they shouldn't. You look the other way. Hey, thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem, that I was able to do that. Thank you, Hashem. Right? Or whatever.
No, it's very important.
Right? Just thank Hashem right there at that moment. Don't wait. Just thank Hashem right then and there. Okay, it's a beautiful idea, really. Uvazeh yasig sheyasayoi loy min hashemayim gam lahalo. And then Hashem will say, oh, you're thanking me, so then I'll help you again. I'll send you more heavenly assistance. And you thank you recognize that the point is you recognize that your success came via Hashem. That's the point. And you don't pat yourself on the back. You see that? I'm a good guy. I did that. See that? No. You attribute the success to Hashem. That's the point. You follow? And then if you do that, then Hashem will always, then he'll help you again. Because there's going to be another test. That's life. Life is, we're all full of tests. So you can increase your purity on your purity, right? Purity on purity. You get on a higher level of purification. Sharei Amr Chazal, B'derech Adam, Makis, famous words, B'derech Sh'adam Reitze Leilech Ba Melichin Lei. Right? The way a person wants to go, whatever path the person wants to go down, they let him go. But the Gemara says over there, if you come to be purified, you get assistance. If you want to go do the raw, whatever it is, okay, go. They don't say nothing. Part of your test. Right? But if you want purity and you ask for purity, Chazal is telling us, you get helped. Then when you thank Hashem that He was megala to you, that He revealed to you that it's His will, that you're supposed to purify yourself, because a lot of people don't know that. Right? The other day Yaniv was saying, right? The reporters were at the concert, right? They were at the concert, and the ladies weren't dressed properly. And then Aaron Razel, remember he was saying about Aaron Razel? He's a good guy. So at the concert, he put on a blindfold mask. He didn't want to see the improper dressed people, right?
Is he known to be a religious guy?
Yeah. Good guy. I know him for years. I know him. I met him about 25 years ago, or more in Eish Kodesh. Yeah, years and years ago. Yeah, he's a good guy. Good guy. No, but so what happened? The reporters and everyone else, they went crazy on him. What's this guy doing? What are you doing? This is what life is all about. You got to see that. We live for that. They don't understand. So you have to thank Hashem that He put us in that gedder, in that group that we understand and appreciate what purity is. We take it for granted.
What was he doing that he put the mask on? Was it a concert?
He was at a concert.
He was
performing. He was a performer. Yeah, he was a performer. He's a singer.
The
And he
front
put
row.
blinders on. That's
Well, the
that's
front
amazing.
row, there were women that were dressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They weren't dressed pretty much, you know.
It's a teaching moment.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
The Yesaya biyadei nimsa masa gestarosai ayadei ha'ida'asai. So you can attain your purity through thanking Hashem. If you want to be pure, learn to thank Hashem for our successes. Okay, so that's the point here, David. Thank Hashem for the success. You gave me the test? Okay. Thank you, Hashem, for the test. Fine, okay. but I give you a greater thank you that I passed the test. That's where you really have to emphasize. Because Hashem gives us everything. Hashem sends you the Yetzer Hara. It's His Yetzer Hara. He sent it to you, of course. But when I'm successful, give the thanks to Hashem. That's the midah of Hod Shebi Yesod. Through the midah of Hod, thanking Hashem and attributing the success to Hashem. Via doing that, you are going to increase your purity because you'll get more assistance from Hashem. You understand? It's a beautiful concept to understand this midah of Hod Shebi Yesod. It's really, it's so beautiful the way Rav Frisch Zatzal, the way he the way he puts these things out for us. It's so simple, but there's such deep concepts. And they're really, 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 really ways to be able to be successful in serving Hashem. And again, this week's parsha we have in Chukosai, Hashem gives us 49 curses, right? There are 49 curses listed, right? 49. So we learned 49. There's a lot of 49s, right? We have the 49 in Shema Yisrael, remember? Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Mechusar Levad, right? Those are 49 letters. Remember we learned that? Right? 49 gates, right? And now we have 49 days of the Sefira. Huh? So these are all methods and these are all different systems that we have in order to prevent us chas v'shalom dealing with the klolos, right? The 49s. Right? Work on the 49 positive rather than the 49 negatives. Okay? So that's the midah of Hod Shebi Yesod. Thank Hashem for any success. Thank Hashem. Don't pat yourself on the back. Thank the Rabbeinu Shalom. It's all about recognizing Hashem.
Well, you can do tomorrow too?
No, we'll do that. We can do that on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of things to do today, so we'll catch up on that. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to go to, because we have Likutey Halachos we have to learn. Baruch Hashem. This is a Likutey Halachos share. Sefira we just added on as a bonus, right? Okay. Likutey Halachos Hilchos Netilas Yadayim Halacha Dalid. We're in Halacha 4. Or again, this is Netilas Yadayim of the L'Suda, right? When we're eating our bread. Today we're up to letter Dalet, so we're in 4:4. Okay, you got the place? 4:4. Okay. Uveshvil zeh Maya mitarim mikol ha'atumois v'yefshel lichnois l'shum kedusha b'li Maya. Morning. You can't come to any kedusha without water. How do you like that? You want to have any purity? We're learning about purity, right? You want holiness. You want purity. It has to come through water. It's all about water. Right? In the morning, you get up in the morning, you wash your hands. Right? You're impure, you go to the mikveh. Water. All about water. You're dirty, you take a shower. You can do tisha kavin. Right? It's with water. Right? Tisha kavin, right? You can do it with water. Washing your hands, okay. Kikoin hakohanim ba'avaydosam. When it came to the Kohanim, when they came into the Beis HaMikdash, they came into the Mishkan, the Beis HaMikdash, so they had the kiyur, they had to wash their hands and their feet. Today they should wash your feet too, Mordechai, right? Hands and the feet, right? They wash the hands and the feet. Yeah, no, they didn't have any socks. There was no socks in the Beis HaMikdash. Okay. In the morning when you get up, right? When you get up in the morning, you got to wash your hands. Everyone knows that, right? You wash negovasa, right? You wash your hands, right? And before you daven, before you learn, make sure your hands are clean. Right? Litbol, you can go to the mikveh. Or you can wash your hands, like we said. Right, the Arizal says instead of the mikveh, if you can't get to a mikveh, you can wash your hands 39 times, right? Or you can do tisha kavin. You can stand in the shower for like 9 minutes and not move, right? That's about tisha kavin, they say today. Mm-hmm. Right, you stand in the shower for 9 minutes, just stand there. It's not that easy to do. Not that easy to do. I'm telling you, it's not that easy. It's easy to go to the mikveh.
Much easier. 9 minutes, a lot.
Yeah, you just stand there. Because they dumped 9 kavin of water over your head, so they figured out today about with the pressure, whatever it is, about 9 minutes.
Well,
Then your wife also used up all the hot water.
Yeah, okay. So use cold water. Now that's
That's real mikvah.
oh, that's real mikveh. Right. Wow. Yeah, it reminds me of a story. I was in Mezbush one year. It was Erev Rosh Hashanah. It was right before Rosh Hashanah. I was in Mezbush, and I came in there and I said, I wanted to use the mikveh. So the guy says to me in Yiddish, he says to me, "Zinishtu can heiße Wasser." The mikveh there's no hot water here. No hot water. It was kind of cold outside too,
that water's really cold.
Wait a second.
Whoa.
So I said to him, this is mayim in the mikveh? You have water in the mikveh? Yeah, it's do mayim, but it's cold. It's cold. So I asked him, can I go there? He said, sure. Wow.
Wow. No kidding.
I just jumped in.
You jumped out pretty fast too.
No. Once the truth, if it's too hot or too cold, once you're in there already,
Yeah.
once you're in there, it's huh?
Just the first second, it's a shock.
It's just that shock, right. People today tell me they do these cold plunges.
Yeah.
You can go right here in Baka and you can go
Yeah,
to
I
the
can.
Mayan there.
Yeah, I know that my head. Freezer. Yeah, no.
I go. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, okay. No, but the first second, it's like, whoa, right? Yeah, but at least about 9, it's not as cold as it is in Ukraine. Yeah. But okay, either way, whatever. It's all good. Oh, little yoda washi hands b'mayim v'chein temeim einam oilim mitumasam kiyim ayadei mayim. Anyone's a tamei, you got to use water to purify yourself, right? You can have all the thoughts you want of purity, but if you don't use water, you're not going to get pure. You got it? You can learn all the laws of mikveh. You can learn all the laws of washing your hands. You can learn all the laws of the Tisha Kavin. You can learn everything. But if you don't use the water, it's just not going to work. You got to use water. Okay, ki mayim meramzim ala das. Because mayim is merames on das. The das. He says now, shel chidush ha'olam, sh'Hashem yisbarach, right, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mechadesh the world, and He made the world Yesh Meyayin. Remember that. Hashem made the world Yesh Meyayin. To know that. Yeah. And to tell you another story. I was working up in the Shema camps up in upstate New York, right? I was helping a friend of mine. He just bought a bunch of camps, and I was helping him run them. All right. So they give me we had walkie-talkies then. Walkie-talkies. So I get a call on the radio. So, Chaim, there's no water. So the rabbi that was in charge of the learning department group was learning. He called me up and tells me there's no water. So I say to the rabbi, Rabbi, it's your fault. So he says to me, what do you mean it's my fault? I says, Ein mayim ela Torah. Ein mayim ela Torah. Chazal say that. The only water is really Torah. So if there's no water, and you're the learning rabbi, so get the kids to learn, and you'll have water. He said, wow, that was strong Mussar. He told, he's one of these Mussar guys. He loves Mussar. That was good Mussar. Kimayim kodmu lechol abriya, because water came before all of creation. Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu had the water up on high. There was water, and then Hashem separated the waters. Right? So water was there. The first thing Hashem created was water. Because again, Hashem made yesh meyayin. There was nothing. There was no water. But the first thing of creation was actually water. Right? Ki hascholas habriya hayu amayim k'may shamar b'sein zchan levracha nimsa. Right? In Midrash, okay, now nimsa she'ikir chidush ha'olam hischilu min amayim. So the water is how the world started. The world started. The creation, all of creation started with water. Therefore, that is the main das of this idea of Chiddush Olam, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was the one that created the world Yesh Me'ayin. He made the world from something, from absolutely nothing, right? Rav Nosson is focusing on this aspect of Chiddush Olam right now. Okay, we learned the idea of Chiddush Olam before, right? There's many concepts of it, that every day is a Mechadesh B'tuva B'chol Yom Tamid Maaseh Bereishis, right? That every day we're new. Here is focusing on the fact that Chiddush Olam is that Hashem made the world mamish yesh me'ayin, to understand that. Okay? Shal yedei zeh, ikar atahara v'raka yedei zeh nechnasim avodas Hashem. That's how we can enter serving Hashem. So that's the prerequisite. In other words, if you want to come serve Hashem, you have to get involved with water. How do you like that? You got to be involved. You have to wash your hands. You have to go to the mikveh. You have to take a shower. Right? Whatever you have to do, you need water. You got to clean yourself up, right? And again, even if the guy was working and he's all dirty and smelly, he's got to take a shower. He's got to use water to clean himself up. It's all about water. That's the main thing to understand. To understand this chiddush olam bechinas bereishis bara lekim. Right, it's a Shemayim v'Saretz. Who has cholas HaTorah? That is the beginning of the Torah. To understand this idea, this beautiful concept of Chiddush Olam. Right, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was mechadesh the world. He made the world in a way from something, from absolutely nothing. Ikra kedusha v'tahara ki lahepech kol hatumas nimshachem mizumas hanachash. All the impurity on the other side. Right, that's the side of purity. Right, everything started with water. Water is purity. Right, but you also have the other side, which is the zuma of the nachash, the impurity of the nachash, shehevi misa, that brought about the idea of death to human beings. He brought about the death because again he started with his the conniving things. Ikatuma. Right, because he was kaifer on this idea of Chiddush Olam. He said that the world was here before. Hashem ate from the tree, and then he made him a god. Right, that's what he said. He was kaifer on this idea that Hashem made the world from something, from absolutely nothing, including him, including the Nachash, including the Nachash, right? And Adam, and the tree, and the water, and everything else. Hashem made everything. So whether you say, no, Hashem, the tree was here, Hashem ate from the tree, and that gave him special powers to be a god. You understand? You see in other words, the tree was here. Hashem ate from the tree, that made him God. That's why he doesn't want you to eat from the tree, because he doesn't want competition. Right? He doesn't want competition, right? Hashem says, eat from everything else, just don't eat from this one, because he says, I was the one that ate from this one, and it made me God. I don't want to have any competition. It sounds silly, but that's what it was. That's what he did. He was kaifer. He denied the whole idea that Hashem made the world yesh me'ayin mamish. Unbelievable when you understand it. Through water, because that's the first thing that Hashem created in creation was water. And that's why water ain't mayim ela Torah. Mayim is das. Because that's that das of the idea that Hashem created the water first. Right? It's very important thing, right? We know this, but Rav Nosson is just really reinforcing it for us to understand how important and integral water really is. Water is very, very integral in our service to Hashem. Right, the first thing the Kohen had to do in the morning, before he could do anything in the Beis Hamikdash or the Mishkan, in the Beis Hamikdash, he had to wash his hands and his feet. He couldn't do anything. Right, he had to go to the mikveh. right? But we're assuming that the kohen went to the mikveh before, but for the chol hapachas, he went to wash his hands and his feet before. He needed water. He couldn't do his service without washing his hands. Ki kol hakedushos v'chol ha'avodos Hashem teluyim be'emuna zu shel chidush olam shezoich lahamtzach al atzmai ayidei tahara b'mayim ayidei tefila or netila kefi hadin. As you wash according to the din, whatever the din is. How many kavan is it? How many times you wash your hands? How many times you dip in the mikveh? That's very interesting. But the v'chol hapachas, you dip in the mikveh 2 times. Right? One time is to take off the impurity. One time is to purify yourself. That's the minimum you do is 2 times.
That's all you need.
Minimum is 2 times. Right? Others say you can go 1 time, but no, whatever, you go 2 times. My Rebbe, Reb David Spiegel, said if you want to do a lot of different sometimes have different, some do 26, and whatever, there's many different systems, the 301, the 310, many different things. So what you can do is you can be in the mikveh, and you can stick your finger out. You stay in the mikveh, you don't have to jump up and down. You can be in the mikveh, and you just pick your finger out. And you're out of the mikveh. If your finger's out of the mikveh, you're out of the mikveh.
You don't have to sit there jumping up.
No, you have to jump up and down. You just pick your finger. You go like that. Every time you pick your finger up, you're out of the mikveh. You're not in the mikveh when your finger's out.
And you need to look if someone else is waiting to use it too.
No, but it goes much faster.
I know. I'm just saying sometimes people will just go forever when people are waiting to use it.
Well, that's a good thing. You can tell them you can do that, by the way. You want to do your 25 dips, 20, 110, dips, whatever you want to do. Just do it like this. Really quick.
If you do 100 times without coming up for air, it's also
That's it. Yeah. Well, it depends how fast you can do. All right, anyway, okay. Ki al yedei tahara b'mayim mamshichin al atzmai bechinas aras meimei hadas. Through the water from the purity, a person can draw upon himself this ha'aras hadas, this illumination of knowledge, sheyigala l'asa, that's going to be in the future, Mirz Hashem, that we're going to see. Shal yedei zeh zoich le'emunas chidush olam, shu yisoid ha'torah v'avodah. That's the sod of Torah and avodah, is this idea of chidush olam. It's such an important thing to understand how important this idea of chidush olam really is. So let's learn about. Let's go to Hey. Okay, we have a little bit of time. Hey, v'zeh bechinas arba tzoymos al churban beis hamikdash. Okay, so there are 4 fasts. Let's go about the Beis Hamikdash, right? So in regard to the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, there are 4 fasts that were instituted by Chazal, right? So what are the 4 fasts? We'll start with Tzom Gedalia is 1, right? Then we have Asara B'Teves, right? Then you have Shavasa B'Tamuz and Tisha B'Av, right? Right? That's the 4. Those are the 4 fasts. Everyone knows that. It's not. I think everyone knows 4 fasts. Nimchach ayedei chet hamaraglim shebachu belel Tisha B'Av, and they came about. Where did the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash came about? From the Meraglim. That they came on the night of Tisha B'Av, and they came with their report, and we were crying. We were all crying. Right? They came with the big fruits, and they came with their information that there's giants there, and how we're going to do this. We can't do it. Right? Remember? Right? But Yeshua ben Nun said, no, we can do it. And the Kalev ben Yefuneh said, we can and we will be victims. No one wanted to listen to them. Right? There was the democratic system, right? We have 10 and 2. So 10 must be right, the 2 must be wrong, right? 10 say it's no good. 2 say it's good. 10, there were 12 spies, right? 10 spies say no good. No good. 2 spies say it's good. They listen to the 10. Shepogmu be'eretz Yisrael, shesham izgala emudas chidush ha'olam. In Eretz Yisrael, you have the idea mostly of chidush ha'olam is in Eretz Yisrael, because again, in Eretz Yisrael, on Har HaBayis, you have the Evan Shasiyah, right? You have the founding stone, the founding rock. Maybe we can call it that. Can we call it the founding rock? Right? The Evan Shasiyah. What?
The foundation.
Founding.
Foundation,
Foundation stone is what they.
The foundations. What's the foundings? Okay, fine. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Ve'hein pogmu bazer ayedei zed his gaber chas v'sholem zum asanochas mizoyne de gufa. Right. So we said the whole idea of the nachash is right. We're talking about washing your hands with bread. The whole idea is the nachash wants us to eat and enjoy our food to satiate the body, right? But we learned the most important thing is to eat and satiate the neshama. Remember, right? We want to satiate we want to lower the mezayna, the gufa, and we want to increase the mezayna, the nishmasa. Right? That's what we're trying to do. Al kain tzrichin latzum kedei lahachnia mezayna the gufa. So therefore, you're going to fast in order to subdue the food and the mezainis of the body, right? People don't know. People, when they have this a fast day, they just get involved in, I can't eat, I'm going to have a headache, I'm going to have this, that. But they don't realize the whole point of the fast is not the fasting necessarily, it's to do tshuva. The whole point is to do tshuva. But people get so involved in the fast, they forget that the whole thing is about tshuva, right? But here we're saying that the fast itself is lowering the sustenance of the body. Because if you come to true emunah shalema and you understand and you understand that it was HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the lands from them and gave it to us. It was His koyach that He did that. You don't need a fast. When I have emunah and I realize, this beautiful sandwich that I have, right? This meal that I'm about to eat, this came about from Hashem. It wasn't because, I'm so smart and I made that deal and therefore I'm going to make this, I have all the money to buy this food. And I realized it all came from Hashem. And I'm giving thanks to Hashem. That's how kosher Jews, see that? We talk about kosher food. How about kosher Jews? Right? Yisrael HaKesherim. Right? The kosher Jews. Bechinas Achilas Shabbos, which is the idea of Achilas Shabbos. When you eat on Shabbos, that's all tainik, it's all onek, it's all the light. Right? The food of Shabbos is there to satiate. That's a mitzvah to eat. See, all week long, you have one mitzvah to eat pas shachris. In the morning, eat bread. That's the mitzvah.
That's a mitzvah.
Mitzvah to eat breakfast. Mitzvah to eat breakfast. Why do you think people don't eat breakfast?
Because it's a mitzvah.
Mitzvah, breakfast. I have no time for breakfast. Got to get to the office. I have a big lunch. I have a big dinner. Right? Breakfast. Who has time for breakfast? Right? That's what people say. Because that's what the mitzvah is. That's what the mitzvah is. On Shabbos, you have the mitzvah, the 3 sudas, right? To eat the 3 sudas. People tell you, when it comes to shalosh sudas, I'm full already. You can't eat again. What are you telling me? I have to eat again? It's a mitzvah. Mitzvah to eat on Shabbos. That's the mitzvah to eat on Shabbos. Through Emunah, you can clarify the food. Like we learned, again, if you ever had the schus to sit with tzaddikim and see the way they eat, right? See a tzaddik, the way he eats, right? They're contemplating. It's just they don't just go shovel the food in. They're thinking. It's a whole avodah. Eating by a tzaddik is a big avodah. We're talking about the kosher people here, right? It's a big avodah because they're thinking about, wow, where did this come from? Wow, Hashem, did you put this on my plate? Wow, this is amazing. You know, they understand how special everything is. They appreciate every little thing. You have appreciation. Otherwise, today we're just more involved. Well, I don't have this and I don't have that. I'm missing this. I'm missing that. Right? All the kayach hamedameh. Right? The imagination tells me I need everything else. I need more things. Right? If I have more things, I'll be better off. Right? Aval al yedei shepagmu beretz Yisrael. But because chas v'shalom, it says here, Bechinas ure'ei emuna. Right? It says live in Israel and see the emuna. See emuna. Right? We can really say that, right? We live here, right? We have all of our friends all around us, right? Right? I say that very facetiously. Our friends all around us, Nashin Nakia, right? Nashin Naki, right? But and we're here, right? See the emuna. See the emuna. We're living the emuna. We're living the emuna. But by them being pagan, they blemished the whole idea, the concept of Eretz Yisrael, of the concept of Tamid Einei Hashem Elokecha Ba Mereishis Shana Ad Achris Hashana, Mereishis Hashana Ad Achris Shana, right? By doing that, they made a pagam, they made a blemish in it. Al Kein Tzrichin Latzum Lachnia Mezayne de Gufa Yedei Atzaim. Oh, so now we understand why we're fasting. Now we understand the whole purpose of the fast. Because the whole idea was, again, I have to always work on feeding the neshama. And and when I feed the neshama, that's through emuna. That's living in the land and seeing emuna. But the Meraglim, they had a pagam on the of Eretz Yisrael. They said, no, it's not going to work. You have these big giants. And the foods are saying, and what's the proof that you have big giants? Look how big these fruits are. Right? That these big grapes, big, everything was big. Right? Because, again, there's such big people, they have big fruits. Can you only imagine how big the people are?
Americans.
Huh?
They were Americans.
Americans? Why you say Americans?
No, they're big this way.
Yeah.
He didn't want to say they were Russians.
No, American. It's a meme. Everybody knows Americans. The packaging Americans, like everything is big. It's because Americans are big.
Uh-huh.
Cars are big.
And that's why we say Eicha on Tisha B'Av. Eicha Yuam Zohav. Which was like a bright color of Zohav, right? It means like a bright gold. Kikar hakinos. Heim ala histalkus hatzadikim amitim shekula kiflayim kichurban beis hamikdash. Right, so we say the kinnis we talk about on Tisha B'Av, right? You talk about the petira of the tzaddikim, right? We make mention of the tzaddikim because the tzaddik, when the tzaddik leaves the world, it's a double tragedy, even more so than the Beis Hamikdash itself. Because the Beis Hamikdash was a structure, it was a building. But if you have somebody that's teaching teaching Torah, he's helping people get closer to Hashem, the person leaves the world. So that's a terrible tragedy because that was helping people get closer to Hashem. He lost that.
On the other side, we have a celebration like Lag BaOmer. Mm-hmm. We have a celebration of Yortzeit, of Lag BaOmer.
But Lag BaOmer was different. That was also the thing that Rabbi Akiva went out on Lag BaOmer and he started again. Right? Rabbi Akiva went out. That was also on Lag BaOmer. He started again after the students stopped dying on Lag BaOmer. Right?
I'm talking about Reb Shimon's.
I understand. It was the same day.
Yeah.
Lag BaOmer was a special day before Reb Shimon's Petira.
Right.
So there's so many things. And Reb Shimon is so happy that we come to him and we're learning his Torah. Every time we learn and we see a Maimah of the Zohar, we read it and we study it, it's Rabbi Shimon's alive. He's not dead. He's very much alive. The tzaddikim.
Why are we happy on these Yortzeit? Why are we happy on these Yortzeit? Why are we so happy on Dafka on these Yortzeit?
He told us to be happy.
Right.
Rabbi Shimon told us to be happy. He commanded us. He told us, come and be happy. He wants us to be happy.
Because why? Because it was like a wedding day or something. I don't remember.
He made us.
Right?
Yeah?
He made us.
Because it became even bigger on
It became bigger. Well, we said the tzaddikim agadol yosef and misasim and right? The tzaddik, when he leaves the world, however great the tzaddik is in this world, when he leaves the world and he's in the next world, he can accomplish so much more. Okay. What?
That's why we're learning. We're always saying, says. Don't say Rashi says.
He says.
Says.
He's saying it. He's saying it. Yeah. Rabbi Kiva says. Rav Ashi says, right? You're saying the Rebbe says, right? They're here. They're here. The tzaddikim are here. The tzaddikim are here. Ayidei zeh anu achshav katzayin asher ein lahem roya. We're like a flock of sheep. We have no shepherd, right? And the sheep, they veer off the road, right? The sheep, some of them, they go in the flock and they're okay, but some of them, they start to go off the side. You need the shepherd in order to bring them back in, right? You ever see the sheep when they're doing? Some of them, most of them go the right way, right? But there's a couple of them at the end, and they start going off the sides, right? Right? They're herd animals, so most of them go in the right way. Most Jews will go in the right way. Most Jews will do the right thing. But you'll have a lot of those that are on the side that are veering off, and they need the shepherd to come to bring them back in. Right? That's the thing. You understand, right? Because we don't know who the tzaddik emes is. Right? But today we don't know. We don't know who they are. Where are they? Where are they? Eicha is where are they? Hatzadik ha'emes shenimshach oira yetzleinu she'ein zoichen leida mimenu. Nechshav. It was lost. Sorry. Shenimshach oira, his light was lost. That sleinu ve'ein zoichen leida mimenu. We don't know from it. Right? The tzaddikim, the light goes down. We don't know who they are. Shezel bechinas yuam zohav, right? Shatzadik ha'emes nechmad mizav yuam. The tzaddik is bright, like bright gold. I think that's what it means, like bright gold. The tzaddik is like bright gold, bright. V'nechshach shiny, maybe like even shiny. V'nechshach oira yetzleinu, right? And his light was lost from us. Kamei shamra b'seinu zechron levracha sheyirmiyahu haya mikoynein eicha yuam al estalkus hatzadik yoshio. Right? So Yirmiyah was crying over the loss of Yoshio Hatzadik, or the Navi. Al came b'chol dar v'dar. Hu merames al estalkus v'his almos or hatzadik ha'emes shebedar. And the whole idea of Tisha B'Av is to realize, to appreciate the fact that we lost the tzaddikim, and how much more we have to rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu now. We have to rely on the emunah of Hashem, because we don't have the tzaddikim that we had. Zeh eicha yuam zov shenechshach oirei etzleinu ve'ein zeichin leheinais me'oirei. We can enjoy the light of the tzaddik when you're around the tzaddikim, right? So you can enjoy the light and the knowledge, the Torah, the influence from the tzaddik. We don't have that. We don't have it. V'loi daizeh. But we have to add a little more salt to the injury, right? A little more salt to the insult, right? Kigam yeshna hakesem hatoiv, right? Shatzadik ha'emes nimshol lekesem hatoiv. Kol kach nechshach oira Yisrael ad asher nishtana ha'emes legamri. The truth was totally changed. They're saying in the world, what's good is bad, and what's bad is good. They change over, they tell you, and a lot of people, I met the other day, I met somebody. I was in Osherad, and I met a guy that I didn't see in maybe 20 years. I met a guy for 20 years. Oh, he comes over to me. He says to me, we met each other. So I was so nice to see him. A guy from New York, whatever. Doesn't have to say what. Right? And he was so happy. So he said, so he asked me, so you live here? I said, yeah, I live here. Baruch Hashem, I got here for almost 5 years ago. He says, he also moved to Israel. I said, great, Mazel Tov, very good, Baruch Hashem. So he said, what are you doing? So I said, we're in Efrat, we have a little chevra, and we have a thing, and this and this. He said to me, so you're learning about Rabbi Nachman? Yeah, I said, yeah. And he says to me, so don't tell me you go to Uman for Rosh Hashanah. I says, I do. I've been doing that for 25, 26 years already.
Wow.
Yeah. Baruch Hashem. I don't take that lightly. So he's like, wow, how could you do that? And he tells me there's a Chasam Sefira. He tells me you got to look it up in Parshas Emor. He tells me where it is. He says it was how the Yidden, they left Yerushalayim and they went up north, and how terrible that was. And how could you leave Eretz Yisrael? And he's giving me this whole thing about.
And you told me when I'm there, I'm in Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah.
And
Some
you say
people,
that?
I did, of course, I told him that. That's it.
The guy gave it to me yesterday.
He gave it to you yesterday?
Yeah.
It's okay. I said, listen, you're a nice guy. I disagree with you. I disagree with you.
That's what I said.
That's all. I disagree with you.
Opinion.
You what?
I said, you're entitled to your opinion,
Now, if I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, he can give it to you. It's all right.
Just like your opinion, man.
That's right. I said, can we agree to disagree? Right? Let's agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree. Right? All right, anyway. Right, and we lost the holy stones, right? שזה נאמר על הסטלקוס והאסלאמס הצדיק שהוא בחינס ראש ביas. He's the head, the ראש ביas, right? The head of the house. ומסגרבן המפורסמים של שקר שהם בחינס ראש כל חוצות. And instead you have the other ones that are very famous, right? So you have, instead of the tzaddikim, you have your leaders of the world, right? You have your world leaders, your politicians. They're the famous ones. The tzaddikim, right? They're the famous ones. Well, Kamei Shemavaya B'Torah Bereishis Le'inei Ayin Sham Likutey Tinyana Simmons. Okay, in the second book, lesson 67. All right, B'nei Tzia and Yikorim Shenizbar Sham HaHefsed. Right, B'Parsha Elu told us Noach Ayin Sham B'Sim. Okay, fine. Let's go. Here we go on. V'zeu Gam Tanim Choltzu. What?
I'm trying to find you.
Yeah.
You got it?
No, it's not back there.
Gam Tanim Choltzu Shadai. Right? What is that? That's the Tanim, the wicked ones, right? The cruel ones, and they're trying to be yonik from the children. Shazel bechinas rachmanis the sitra acher. That's the rachmanis of the sitra acher. K'meishim mevayim b'Torah tiku teichacha, right? Or that's lesson 8. That this whole lesson's about. Tiku teichacha is lesson 8 in the second book. Shaydei zeh misgaber chas v'sholem bechinas. All the idea from it said that the Nachash was Orim, right? The Pegam on the Das came from the Nachash, and that's where all the tzaras come from. Until they don't know from the true tzaddik, right? So what was the Nachash? Hashem is the real tzaddik, right? Hashem is the real righteous one. So what did the Nachash do? The Nachash was trying to hide Hashem. He was trying to hide Hashem, right? He was trying to, that's what it is in Nachash Haya Aram. Aram has two things. He was unclothed, but he was also cunning. He was conniving, right? The Nachash was conniving. And move on now, Machniyan, Zumas Nachash, Shu Bechinas Gam Tanim Choltzu, right? Ayadei Tfila Shel Tzadik Bal Koyach. How do you do that? Through the tefillah of the Baal Koyach. Again, this is based on lesson 8 in Tinyana, right? There's an idea that like this. So let's just go over the idea of the tefillah with the Baal Koyach, and what is the Baal Koyach, and what is the idea of the tefillah, and how does it help? So a tefillah b'din is something from din. Din is the side of Gevurah. It's from the left side, right? The Sitra Achra also comes from the left side. He's on the left, right? He's on the left din, right? So when you daven a tefillah b'din, it awakens the Sitra Achra. He says, "Oh, wow, look at that. That's din. That's mine. That's mine." Right? So he takes that tefillah, he takes the tefillah b'din, he swallows it. But he doesn't know that tefillah b'din is so powerful, it's going to cause him to throw up everything that and all the other kedusha that he had inside of him. He steals our tefillahs all the time. Right? The Sitra Achra, anytime we daven and we're not paying attention, realizing that we're standing Shivisi Hashem Lenegdi Summit, that Hashem is listening, we're just saying the words, right? Oh, the Sitra Achra says, that's for me. He takes it. He takes all those tefillahs. Right? When you're davening with kavanah, so then it goes to the right place. If you don't daven with kavanah, the Sitra Achra is taking all those tefillahs.
That's what a tefillah b'din is.
No, so if you daven a tefillah b'din, where we gave a lot of examples, right? Well, one example that we could do, we'll just say it again for now, is let's say a person he needs parnasa, right? The guy needs parnasa, right? Right? So he can cry to Hashem, he needs parnasa, or he can say to Hashem, look, Hashem, first of all, I want to thank you that you gave me my family, my wife. I want to thank you, you gave me my children. I want to thank you, you gave me my job, my car, my house, whatever it is, right? Hey, Hashem, but I have these bills. Hashem, I have these bills. And thank you for the children, but the children need me to, right? In other words, a tefillah b'din, smart, right? In other words, thank Hashem for everything. And now Hashem, hey, but now I need, I need this, right? Hashem, I'm not doing, let's say a person is not feeling well. Right, so Hashem, you brought me to this place and this and that, and I want to serve you and this and Hashem, but I need my help. Come on, Hashem, right? But you do it in a way of thanking Hashem for what you already have, and then you say, by the way, now that I have that, come on, you didn't take me here for nothing, right? It wasn't for naught that you took me here, right? A tefillah bal koyach, right? So then that's the whole idea. The fact that you daven the tefillah bal koyach, it's a din. There's din in there. So the Sitra Achra takes that din, he swallows it, but that din is a powerful din. It's something that's going to cause him to throw up, and he throws up all of the tefillahs that he stole from us. And that's where we said that what causes in the world gerim, you can have gerim come from that. And you get Balei Tshuva to come from that. So much good can come from that. People can come back to Hashem from the Tefillah B'din. Okay? Azai Zoichin L'chola B'chines Anal Adchen is Bara Amedame Aidei Atzadik Emes through the imagination. The whole thing is about our imagination. Clarifying the imagination. Aidei Atzadik Emes Ulahepech. Lahepech Chas V'Sholem. Right, the opposite of the Rachmanis of the Sitra Achra, Azai Ein Yoidin Eicha, Eifo, or Hatzadik. We don't know where, Eicha, Eifo, where. We don't know where the light of the Tzadik or Emes is. We're crying that we lost that shiny gold. The shiny gold was signed. The Yuam Zov is the shiny gold that the tzaddik was. The tzaddik was so bright, and we lost that. We don't have that. Shenem al estalkus v'alamas ora tzaddik shezen nimtzach b'mechines gam tanim choltzu shadai. Right, that the tanim. Those are the other ones. The ones that are making all of the noise. The giant ones that are making all of the noise. Covering over the light of the tzaddikim, right? That we said, okay. But through the kinnis, when we cry out, Hashem, Eicha, Eifa, where is the tzaddik? Then his light can be revealed to us. Ad sheyitar hashir shalosid She'oz nizgadal hasimcha miyoid. In the future, the simcha is going to be very, very great. Guys, Mashiach is coming. He's here. Any moment, he's going to reveal himself. And there's going to be such a big simcha. Kamay Shamar v'sein is going to have sisu ata misois kol ha-misablim aleha. Right? Sisu ata. Right? Misois kol misabel aleha. Those that are misabel. Right? The Gemara in Tainus says those that are misabel on the Churban Beis Hamikdash, right? With those that are misabel on the Churban Beis Hamikdash, they'll have the joy, the great joy to see the Beis Hamikdash being rebuilt. It says that anyone that doesn't see the Beis Hamikdash built in his day is as if he destroyed the Beis Hamikdash, right? Right, but anyone that was misabel al Churban Beis Hamikdash will be zeichet to see the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash in Mitzvah Hashem. V'zeh bechinas Shabbos Chazon. So that Shabbos before Tisha B'Av is called Shabbos Chazon, right? The Shabbos of vision. What is Chazon? Vision, to see, right? What does Chazon mean? To see, right? Chazon daika hainu nevuah. The idea of nevuah, because we said the other thing is when you daven a tefillah bedin, it causes Sitra Achra to bring back all of the other things, which causes a nevuah also. Which causes nevuah, some kind of a prophecy. Yikra tikin shonu tzrichen achshav hu lachzor lahamshich hashpoas hanevuah. We have to bring back the whole idea of the hashpoah, the idea that is the idea of nevuah into the world. Shayidei zeh ikra beira amedame shal yodai shleimus emunah. Through what do you call it? Through the nevuah, right? The nevuah is telling you it's a prophecy. So you start to listen to the prophecy, you start to imagine what the prophecy is. What that prophecy is, what that beautiful thing that the Navi is going to tell you, Emetz Hashem, we're going to hear. So you'll start imagining, and they'll fix the whole idea of the imagination. Instead of imagining all the doom and gloom, and all of this stuff that the news, they try to make us believe, right? The doom and the gloom, right? Right? And not only, so now they have a new thing now. They tell you, instead of having, when there's a siren, you have to go into your mind. So now they have an app now, they tell you 5 minutes before. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a siren. A little more doom and gloom for the next 5 minutes, right? Right?
There's going to be a siren, yeah.
They have a new app, right? Do you see that, Shalom?
Yeah, it goes out to everybody.
No, it doesn't go out to me. I don't have any of those things.
Oh, so it goes
My wife said I have to have. I don't need it. I said there's a siren. I know. I go into the mamad. What do I need? Why do you know about it?
things in there.
So you have a little
See
service.
that warning, but
No, you don't need it. They say you have 90 seconds, or what is it? 90 seconds to go into the mamad. How many times? Shalom, what is it? 90 seconds to go into the mamad when you see the siren. What do they tell you?
Depends where you are.
I don't go to my mind.
Oh, you don't go in. Oh, he doesn't go in. Okay. No, but I'm just saying, you see, they just try to make us crazy. But we want to just imagine good things, and all they try and do is make us crazy. You understand? Not only do you have to hear the siren, the zaka. No, I don't.
Buy lottery tickets either, right?
You what? You what?
I said, I bet you don't buy lottery tickets either.
All right, whatever.
Shalom has a munah.
Ki b'Shabbos ikra tikun. Shabbos is the main tikun, right? Guys, Shabbos is coming in a few hours. Shabbos is coming in a few hours. Be Shabbos, right? Oh, wow. Ikra tikun. That's the main tikun. Ki Shabbos ogin aloi. Shabbos is the protection. The Shabbos is protecting us. It's a upper protection. Al Adam Arishan shepagam bechol. Hanal Adam Arishan was pagam, but Shabbos comes along, and it was Adam Arishan that said Mizmashil Yom Shabbos. Taiv lo haydis Lashem. Well, that was Adam Arishan that said that. Mizma right? Mizmashil Yom Shabbos. That was Adam Arishan that said when the Shabbos came in, he said, "Wow." He saw the Shabbos and he realized how he has to praise Hashem. Because when Shabbos came in, he got a clarity. He was still in Gan Eden. He was still in Gan Eden for Shabbos. He was there. That's what we have. Shabbos is a Me'ein Olam Haba. Right? We say Shabbos is a Me'ein Olam Haba. Because we also have a taste of Olam Haba. We have a taste of Gan Eden on Shabbos, right? If you prepare, if you prepare for that, right? So Adam Rishon saw that Shabbos Ogin Aloi, Shabbos is that protection. Baal Kein Kairin as Shabbos as Zeh Shabbos Kaidim Tisha B'Av Shabbos Chazan. That's why we call it the Shabbos of vision. That's the vision. Again, what's a vision? I see something. It helps my imagination. It helps me imagine things in a different way. L'hoyrei she'anu tzrichin achshav b'Shabbos zeh azeh l'taken b'chinas emuna she'ikara tluya b'nevuah. The main thing is dependent on nevuah, a prophecy, the imagery of the prophecy. Right? When you see that, it's all going to help our koyach hamidameh. Right, Shemavaya Bat Torah. If you want to see more about that, again, lesson 8. Alkei Nikra Shabbos Chazon Lashon Nevuah. It's a lashon of nevuah, right? The vision. The vision is the vision of the nevuah. Okay. And now we're gonna learn in Mitzvah Hashem. We're gonna stop here. We're gonna learn something in Likutey. We're gonna learn Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. But we're going to learn on Sunday with our Kadosh Baruch Hu's help. We're going to learn about the different ideas of the Shemus of the Tzaddikim, how important the names of the Tzaddikim are. It's something very, very, very special in Mitzvah Hashem. Okay. So now we understand the idea of water, how important water is. Right. All kedusha starts with water. Isn't that amazing? That's why it'd be great in this shul would put some water in the mikveh here. We have a mikveh here. We have no water in the mikveh. We have water on the fountain outside, but no water in the mikveh.
Even swimming pool already, man.
We have a swimming pool, but we don't have a mikveh. We have a brecha, we have a pool, but we don't have a mikveh.
Well, maybe we'll get the mikveh in the time that it took to build
I
the swimming pool.
asked them, I said, how much money does it take to open the mikveh? No.
What's the problem?
I don't know. They have to have the design. I said, who cares about the design? Put water in the mikveh. Who cares about the design? People go dip in the mikveh. That's the important thing. Who cares what it looks like? Dip in the mikveh.
Is it all set up with the color?
Yeah, but they didn't like the way they did it, and they have to make another design. They're not sure the design's going to be. How many showers they're going to be? I said, what do you need the showers? You put water in the mikveh.
I thought there was a different problem.
Yeah. All right, whatever. Okay. All right, these are the... You see that? It's all the Sahara, right? It's all from the sun, right? The design. Who cares about the design?
It's Hashem. It's not them. Why don't we have a mikveh Hashem?
Yeah.
Give it to us.
Yeah. Okay, let's learn now. We're learning Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. We're learning Siman Yud Tes. All right, the laws of Mashav Ruach Ma'arid HaGeshem, Talumata, Yala v'Yavai. So now we're going to learn about the laws of Yala v'Yavai. Okay, so here we go. Yud. Shochach Yala v'Yavai b'Rosh Chodesh b'Shachris or b'Mincha. All right, so you're davening either Shachris or Mincha on Rosh Chodesh, and you forgot to say Yala v'Yavai. V'chol HaMoed, bein Shachris or bein Mincha, bein Ma'ariv. When it comes to Chol HaMoed, you say the Yala v'Yavai for the holiday, right? Whenever if it's a Pesach or it's Sukkot, you say the Yala v'Yavai. V'im niska koydin shama yil rotzai. If you remember before you said the yil rotzai at the end of the Shmona Esrei, choyze maskul ritzei. So go back to ritzei. Ritzei Hashem l'kedim Amo Yisrael, right? And then you say the ritzei, and then you say the Yala v'Yavai, then you say v'sechazedu enenu. Right, so go. If you remembered it before you came to the Hili Ratzon, you did Sim Shalom, and you said I'm Baruch Shem Shalom. You didn't say the Hili Ratzon. That's the key. Okay, so then you can go back to Ritzei. Go back to Ritzei, and then say the Yala v'Yavai Keseder, and then say it all. Okay. Even if you remember before you said Moedim, Kivin Shesiyam Birchas Hamachzis Shchinosei L'Tzion Tzorech Lahaskil Ritzei. So if you remember, people don't know this, right? If you finish, you just say, you just said the Birchas Hamachzis Shchinosei L'Tzion Moedim, right? You're supposed to say Moedim now, right? So if you did that, you can go back to Ritzei, and you can say Ritzei again, Yala v'Yavo, and then you say that you do again. You come back to the and then you say Amaydim. Okay, Kamaishi kasafti b'mash v'ruach, he says, Ach, imu niskar koidem birchas hamachzir shchinasir l'tzion, oimei sham. But if you remembered it before you said hamachzir shchinasir l'tzion, before the blessing, so then just say it right there. You don't have to go back to Ritzei. Say it wherever you are. If it's Sechazena, I didn't say Yalav Yavai. Say Yalav Yavai right there. Just add Yalav Yavai right there before if you didn't finish the bracha yet. Okay? Or Messiah and then finish. If it's Sechazena and then. Okay. What happens if you didn't remember it only Ad La'achei Yiliratzon? What happens if you remember you said you forgot the Yalav Yavai in the Sechazena. And you said the Maidim. And you said and then you said the brachas. You said sim shalom. You finished, and now you finish. I didn't say yalav yavai. Right, you're all the way at the end of Shemona Esrei. You're about to say Lekai. It's all right. You're about to say the end. Wait a second. I didn't say yalav yavai. It happens sometime, right? So what do you do then? What do you do then? Chayzel l'roish tefillah. Now you can go back to the beginning of Shemona Esrei. You have to go all the way back. Now you go all the way back. So if you remember Yalav Yavai, any time before the bracha of Modim, so then you could say it right there. If you said the bracha of Modim, you can go back to Ritzei, and then say Yalav Yavo, right? And then you say V'sechazen again, and you continue, right? If you came to the end of Shemona Esrei, you didn't say Yehila Ratzon yet, you go back to Ritzei. You go all the way back to Ritzei, and then you say Yalav Yavo and Modim again, and you go, and then you finish. Okay, but if you finished Yehila Ratzon, that means you already finished Shemona Esrei. Now you got to go back to the beginning. Now start all over again. Okay, V'rosh Chodesh im shochach Yalav Yavo b'Ma'ariv. Oh, there's a difference now. Let's say the Ma'ariv, first day of Rosh Chodesh. Let's say it's 2 days or the first night. It doesn't matter, right? The night time, you forgot to say Yalav Yavo. Bein Rosh Chodesh hu shnei yamin. Bein she'enai ela yoyim echad. Kivan shama baruch atah Hashem behiskir es Hashem, because you said that Hashem's name, you mentioned Hashem's name. Shuv einai chayzer. You don't say it again. Here's the catch, okay? It's not by Ma'ariv. This is going on Yalav Yavai of Shachris and Mincha. But Ma'ariv, if you forgot to say Yalav Yavai, you don't go back. On Ma'ariv, you don't go back. It's only in the day. It's only in the day, not at night. At night, you don't go back. Ella Messiah Mamachsa Shlasal Tzion v'goyim etfilasai v'tam bazeh mipnei sheloi hayu mikachin es hachodesh balayla, because they weren't mikadesh the chodesh at night. In other words, when the Beis Hagadol would say Kodesh, 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 they would say Mekudesh, right? The Kodesh, Kodesh. They would say the month is sanctified. They only did that during the day. They didn't do that at night, because they didn't sanctify the month during the night. So if I didn't sanctify the month during the night, it's okay. It's okay. But during the day, since they sanctified the month, I have to also make sure they say the Yalav Yavo. You understand the difference, right? Mm-hmm. So just review one time, because it's very important to know. All right, you're either in Mincha or Shachris or Mincha, whatever, and you realize you didn't say Yalav Yavo, and you said, and you came to, you're in Milah Modim, let's say you were Milah Modim, right? You're Milah Modim. So if you're Milah Modim, go back to Ritzei, right? If you remember anywhere till Yehila Ratzon Imrei Fi, right? You fit the last bracha, and you didn't say the Yehila Ratzon Imrei Fi, you go back right there. You just go back to Ritzei and just carry through. Okay? But if you remembered after Yehila Ratzon, now you got to go back to the beginning of Tefillah. That's only for Shachris and Mincha. When it comes to Ma'ariv, you don't go back at all, because the Beis Hagadol wasn't sanctifying the month during the night. So since it's the nighttime, we don't go back at all for the Yalav Yavo. I wish everyone a wonderful Shabbos, and we should hear Besara Tovas. It should be quiet here, Mitzvah Hashem, and Hashem should bring all of our soldiers home with all of the captives and everyone else. I please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Kol Tov, everybody.